So the RTI amendment bill is now slotted for next week when it comes up for discussion, and all the party MPs have in fact promised a 2-hour discussion before in fact it is passed. But at a time like this, when there is such a huge momentum in a sense in the country and even outside against amending that RTI, which actually asks that that 6 of the political parties be brought under the ambit of the RTI. Very interestingly, there's a very interesting project that several NRIs spearheaded by Suresh Adiga have in fact started, and that's what we discuss on the show today. Poison or potion parties under RTI. Will that harm or help democracy? Let's quickly introduce, welcome Suresh Adiga on the social network. He is an NRI and he conceived the RTI Callathon. We've also got with us Bhanupriya Rao. She is a global transparency campaigner, and in the studio we've got with us Anjali Bharadwaj, member of the NCPRI. Suresh, I just want to start with you first. Tell me a little bit about this concept of this RTI Callathon and what's the experience been like? What kind of feedback have you got?
Well, it's a simple concept where we are trying to hold the MPs accountable for what they are supposed to be doing in the first place. And we are in no position, or we should not be in a position to remind them. But unfortunately, that's the reality. So all we started doing was to pick up the phone call, get the list of all the MPs and started calling them and asking them a very simple question. Why are you being afraid of coming under the purview of RTI Act? Because you are getting tax exemptions from the government, and hence you are in a way liable to the people and to the government. So it's as simple as that. And we as in a group of about 8 to 10 people, we called about close to, I would say, 200 MPs, but we spoke to maybe about 80 MPs, out of which about 40 of them across party lines, a majority of them from BJP, did say that they would support political parties to come under the RTI Act. However, they will go with the party leadership at the end of the day. So that has been a consistent message that we have been getting. And the rest of the 20 MPs, not surprisingly enough, they said their opinion doesn't matter. Some MPs did say that there had never been a discussion in the party. All the major decisions have been taken by the party leaders themselves. So this was something very surprising to us, very shocking to us, that an MP who has been elected democratically doesn't have sort of the privileges of a democracy to express himself within his own party.
All right, I'm just going to come to Bhanupriya in just a bit, but Anjali, I just want to throw that out to you. I suppose the mood is prevalent not just in what Suresh is saying, but all over social media. There's just like an en masse sentiment about the fact that this is completely wrong. But this is a far more nuanced debate than what it appears. There are, parties which have said that, we are a group of private individuals as an organization, and there are several inner party workings, and we should be allowed to take the decision on that, and we can't allow that to be open to every single person.
Let me begin by saying that, of course, there is a huge public mood against these amendments. And what Suresh mentioned, what we are seeing on the social media, we are seeing that on the ground, because people in this country have really seen the power of the right to information. They've seen how powerful it can be for them to hold their government, to hold, also be informed citizens and to participate in governance. So I think that there is a huge mood in the country across people, whether they are in the country or citizens abroad, who are saying that do not amend the Right to Information Act. Let me add to what Suresh said. Suresh is absolutely right when he says that members of parliament are saying that they are in fact helpless. And that really is what is at the crux of the CIC order. The CIC order states that political parties are performing a very critical function in our democracy. There is a Schedule 10 of the Constitution which enables parties to issue whips, which means that MPs cannot actually decide their position. Therefore, it's very important for citizens in this country to know, to understand what the party is saying and why it is saying it. Now, if we were to look at the whole position that the parties are taking on this, I think there is a problem. The parties are saying
demand for privacy. It's not a very, very unreasonable demand. I mean, if you're looking at
not an unreasonable
you and I would
demand.
want privacy on how we work things.
Absolutely.
Want privacy in how they work things.
Absolutely, and I agree with you that, you know, I mean, there might be some legitimate concerns that political parties might have, and I think the demand for privacy, the demand for protecting their competitive interests and strategies is a very legitimate demand. What we as people outside in civil society have been saying is that there is a Section 8 of the Right to Information Act which exempts certain kind of information from being accessed. Now,
and you're saying they could possibly use that.
That
they
should
could use
cover
that.
all of this.
All right.
And what is really required is a public debate, a discussion, so that a proper position can be reached. Amendments is not the answer to this.